And now, the After the Bell podcast with Bill Neville and Lee Morgan.
We're just 19 days away from the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania 30. And welcome, everybody, to the After the Bell podcast. As always, I am Bill Neville alongside my co-host, Lee Morgan. Lee, how's everything?
Great. How are you doing? What
you
was that?
So enthusiastic.
I know, right?
I told you I was going to kick it off like Michael
okay.
Cole.
Okay.
It was a terrible impression, but you know, he starts every Raw broadcast off with a scream.
He does.
We're live in Boston tonight for Monday Night Raw.
I wish.
And then somebody's music hits.
I wish Monday Night Raw was in Boston.
Yeah, it hasn't been in a couple years. It's kind of a bummer. But we do have SmackDown next Tuesday.
Yes.
Hopefully you'll be in attendance as well.
Yes.
I'll be at Raw next Monday.
Of course you will.
Cannot wait. Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Get to see The Undertaker again.
Take lots of photos.
Maybe a video of the dark match if there is one.
Maybe.
We'll have to post that on the After the Bell Wrestling YouTube page and the Twitter so people can see what goes on after Monday Night Raw, or after the bell, shall we say.
After the bell. Nice one.
Yes. So thank you, everybody, for joining us once again, as you hopefully do every week at this point, as we are in episode 7. Today is March 18th, 2014, but last night was St. Patrick's Day, and it made for a very interesting episode of Raw. We saw a couple of superstars confirm that they'll be entering the not the After the Bell Battle Royal.
If only.
Yes, that'd be sweet. The Under the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. We saw a seemingly mentally weak John Cena for the first time in a very long time, or maybe even ever, for that matter, because he's always had that confidence about him, whether he was the rapper or the first match he had against Kurt Angle, where ruthless aggression.
Yeah, he seemed to lack some confidence last night.
Yeah, and it was kind of a nice change of pace, and seeing Bray Wyatt wearing his gear in the promo on the Titantron.
That was beautiful.
It was awesome. And we also saw a major storyline change, which we will get to in just a few moments with our recap and analysis of Monday Night Raw. All right. Well, we are back here on the After the Bell podcast, episode 7. As always, the fun Raw theme. So Triple H kicked off Raw last night, and he said he had something to say man-to-man to Daniel Bryan later in the evening. And, of course, naturally, cue Batista and cue Randy Orton. But instead of me reading my notes here, I'm just going to let you hear what happened, and here's what happened.
Now, Batista, this idiotic yes movement, it's not why these people are cheering Daniel Bryan. The reason these people are cheering Daniel Bryan is because they don't believe in you. Listen, I mean no disrespect whatsoever, but when you left, nobody cared. When you came back, people cared even less. I mean, if you would have just lived up to all your hype, we wouldn't be in this situation right now.
No, let me tell you something. The reason why they love Daniel Bryan, because as WWE World Heavyweight Champion, you suck.
Whoa. Take it back.
The only reason you have those titles is because of his support. You're a paper champion. You wish you could be me. You will never be me. You don't deserve to hold those titles. They're mine. You know you're going to lose to me. You think you can beat Daniel Bryan? You know you can't beat me. You know you can't beat me.
Oh, boys. Here we go.
Hey, where the hell do you think you're going? You're going to fix this. You're going to fix this. We're not having a triple threat. You're going to fix this. Take care of this.
You want to know where I'm going?
You want to know what I'm sick of? I'm sick of everything around here. I'm sick of little troll-faced gremlins like Daniel Bryan. I'm sick of them cheering for him. I'm sick of all this crap. You want to know what else I'm sick of? I'm not just sick of them. I'm sick of Hollywood movie stars coming back here thinking they can tell me what's right for this business. Thinking that they know more about this business than I do. You know what else I'm sick of? I'm sick of technically gifted guys who are so screwed up in the head that they can't win a match without me holding their hand. You want to know what I'm thinking right now? I'm thinking the old man was right. I'm thinking the old man is right. The only one you can trust in this world is yourself. There's gonna be a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan is not gonna be in it because he is not gonna get past me. But when I beat Daniel Bryan, the triple threat match is gonna be Batista and Randy Orton and me.
Oh my God! What? Talk about a game changer! A blockbuster! Can he Triple H? Can he do that? I love it. Of course he can do it as a COO of the company. There will be a triple threat match for the championship in WrestleMania. It's now guaranteed. You talk about throwing your weight around. I love it. That's best for business. What an emotional night. Look at this. Oh, Batista. The Viper strikes. Emotions running wild on Monday Night Raw. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Buckle your seatbelts.
What a way to kick off Monday Night Raw last night.
Well then.
Exactly. Well then is the best you could possibly put that. Triple H pretty much announcing himself that he's going to be in the triple threat match at WrestleMania because he doesn't give Daniel Bryan a chance in holy hell of beating him. Although we all are hoping for the opposite result because Triple H doesn't need that match.
No, he doesn't.
Nobody wants to see a triple threat between Evolution. We want to see a triple threat between the Shield, maybe, but not the Evolution guys.
If Triple H does beat him, it's a big if, big if,
yeah.
Huge if.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to win the WHC. That's what I'm going to
WWE WHC.
Yeah, whatever.
Get it right.
No, I'm not ever going to get it right, so we're going to abbreviate
you're
it
fired.
Down to 3 letters.
You're fired.
Yeah, I know. Anyways. Okay, Vince McMahon.
I didn't say it like that, though.
Oh, now you lost me. All right.
Both of us are losing our train of thoughts today. It's a tough start for the two of us.
Very much so. If Triple H wins the title, would you want him to face Daniel Bryan for it?
Eventually?
Yes.
Yes.
Hopefully at Money in the Bank.
Ooh. Well, I'm glad you brought that up. We reported, I had a friend of mine let me know, close friend of mine, works in Boston radio. I won't drop any names, just in case it isn't official, but because it hasn't been confirmed by TD Garden or WWE yet. But the report is that July's Money in the Bank pay-per-view will be held in Boston, although it's going to be, June 29th?
Yeah, June 29th.
It's usually mid-July, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just losing my mind here. But aside from WrestleMania, I think that's probably the best pay-per-view of the year next to Royal Rumble, honestly.
It is.
And I'm super, super excited. I mean, Boston's had their run of pay-per-views lately between Royal Rumble 2011 and Night of Champions 2012 and Survivor Series 2013, which no one cared about at all.
Nobody.
Although I went and it was a lot of fun, as they always are. But we haven't seen a Monday Night Raw here since 2012.
I know.
March 5th, 2012, actually.
Wow.
It was the second appearance in 4 months in Boston for The Rock. It was a match leading up to WrestleMania 28, I believe. Yes, because it wasn't before MetLife.
The last Monday Night Raw I went to in Boston was the Punk and Vince signing.
Oh, okay. So that was just before the pipe bomb.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was in,
just before.
I was at that too. I believe it was July of 2011.
Yeah.
Or somewhere around there. He was still in the Nexus angle, and he sat in the middle of the ring, was talking. Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that. We are way off.
I know.
We are way off point here, but it fills time, and
yes, it does.
It makes for great conversation. Back to the opening of Monday Night Raw. Triple H basically telling Dave Bautista, or Bautista, shall we call him?
Boo-hoo-tista.
Boo-hoo-tista now.
Yeah.
Okay. Since he was kind of walk out last night.
He was crying and whining and not getting his way like his 12-year-old girl that he is. So
maybe he should wear the outfit of the picture that you showed me earlier.
I'll tweet that out again.
He's got the skinny jeans on and high heels on.
And a purse.
You can follow us at ATB Wrestling and check out the picture that Lee is going to tweet.
Pink glasses.
And you can follow her at WWE_LCM, whichever account she decides to tweet it from.
It's usually that one.
Okay. So you'll find it somewhere. But it's a hilarious picture of Batista wearing heels and carrying a purse and wearing his normal outfit of skinny jeans in the 2014 version of Dave, the animal. The animal on heels.
The animal on heels.
I don't know if that's possible. I don't think you can have an animal on heels. Although
search YouTube, maybe.
I was just going to say, if you search YouTube, you could probably find videos of dogs or cats or with their owners' high heels on. And
yep.
Man, we are so all
animal
over the place
abuse
today. This is crazy. We're about 12 minutes in and we've already lost our minds.
Yep.
Anyway, so like we were saying for the fourth time, Triple H has pretty much exclaimed that he's going to be in the triple threat match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania because there's no chance that Daniel Bryan will beat him on the grandest stage of them all. Like we were saying before, the consensus is that Bryan will beat Triple H. Now we just don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with this added stipulation, it makes the beginning match a little more interesting. Now that Triple H just doesn't go away if he loses. He's in the world title match. Now, this brings up a point where, yes, a lot of people really, really want to see Daniel holding up the title at the end of the match, or at the end of the pay-per-view, with 75,000 people chanting, yes, yes, yes. But is there a chance that Daniel Bryan loses to Triple H and then screws Triple H out of the championship at the end of the pay-per-view?
I wouldn't mind seeing that either.
I wouldn't mind seeing it either, but I feel like if there's a chance for the payoff for the whole yes movement, it has to be at the end of WrestleMania. It has to be. It can't be at the end of Extreme Rules or whatever pay-per-view is next. It can't be... God, what's after that? Is it Money in the Bank after that?
I think so.
Because Extreme Rules will be May, and then we said Money in the Bank's at the end of June, correct?
Yeah.
Maybe the payoff will be at Money in the Bank. Who knows?
I would like it.
Oh, maybe. I mean, we're getting way ahead of ourselves here.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe Triple H wins the title at WrestleMania, gives himself the 75,000th WrestleMania moment that he's had, gets through Extreme Rules with the title, Bryan wins Money in the Bank again. Yeah, you never know.
Speculation.
I'd like to work in the WWE creative room. Just throw all these random ideas out and see what everybody agrees on and what everybody doesn't agree on.
And then they'd shoot them all down because it would make everybody happy.
Well, yeah. And that WWE is in the business of not making everybody happy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Although last Monday's Raw made a lot of people happy, solidifying that Daniel Bryan has a chance, keyword chance, to be in the main event at WrestleMania. But like we heard in the clip, Orton comes out and he says, how dare you make this a triple threat? And Batista says, I didn't come back to fight in a match where I don't need to get pinned to get loot. I don't need to get pinned to lose. And Triple H, doubting these two guys' confidence in him, asks if they both believe that Bryan can beat him. Triple H doesn't seem to think that Bryan has a chance at all.
He's got a huge chance, H. Come on.
Yeah, I hope so. And Triple H loses it. He says he can't trust anybody and announces that when he beats Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, it'll be Orton versus Batista versus me.
That's a good one.
Yeah, right? Wasn't bad. So we come back from break, and Batista walks out, and he said he's sick of what's going on here in a backstage interview with Renee, and he walks out of the arena seemingly, which seemed to be kind of a direct shot at one Phillip Brooks.
Yep.
We can't call him CM Punk anymore because they don't call him that anymore.
They don't call him anything anymore.
I don't know if anybody here watches Walking Dead or Talking Dead, but CM Punk, Phil Brooks, a.k.a. CM Punk,
Yes,
made a appearance on Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick after this past Sunday's episode of The Walking Dead. And he was introduced as Phillip Brooks. And at the end of the show, Chris Hardwick was plugging everybody's stuff as they always do. And he said, hey, you can find Phillip Brooks on Twitter at CM Punk. And he gave this look. I wish you could see it, but it was just like huh? I don't think so. Like, screw you. You're not going to find anything from me because CM Punk hasn't tweeted since the night of the Royal Rumble back on January 27th.
probably forgot his password.
Well, it's probably like straight edge with capital SE.
Probably. I'm gonna go try that out.
Who knows? But that's a very, very interesting way to kick off Raw with a huge stipulation added to the Triple H Daniel Bryan match at WrestleMania that they agreed upon last week. I sincerely hope that somehow Daniel is able to pull off the victory against Triple H, and hopefully in the fashion that I predicted on last week's show and I predicted on a previous show, that it kind of comes full circle where Daniel Bryan is all jacked up to face Triple H. 75,000 people are freaking out for him. Triple H is the normal, calm, cool, collected, confident, super confident. As you can tell from his promo, he doesn't think he has a chance in hell to beat him. Mm-hmm. And just gets overwhelmed by or surprised by Daniel Bryan coming out of nowhere, hitting him with the running knee and pinning him 1, 2, 3, and not necessarily 18 seconds, but in the same fashion that Sheamus beat him at WrestleMania 28.
Yes.
Was it? I'd still love to see that. Who knows if we will, but like I said, with WWE, you never know.
I have a question for you.
Yes, what do you got?
Do you want Shawn Michaels to play a part in this whatsoever?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I didn't like Shawn Michaels' involvement in anything that Triple H has been doing recently.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn Michaels is doing his own thing. Have him come back for some fun gimmicks backstage and stuff like that every now and then, but he retired a couple years ago. He's doing his own hunting show or whatever he's doing on one of those A&E or Bravo or one of those channels.
I have no idea.
Just don't bring him into this.
I completely agree.
Because it needs to be Daniel Bryan and Triple H. It needs to be Triple H, if he does, putting Bryan over by himself and not with anyone helping him except maybe Stephanie McMahon. That's it. Because you haven't seen Shawn Michaels on TV. Mm-hmm. You saw Shawn Michaels at NXT Arrival, but other than that...
Yeah, he was flubbing up his words the whole night.
Right. And other than that, you haven't seen him. Why bring him in now, a couple weeks before WrestleMania? There's no point. What do you think about that?
I saw on Twitter last night that people were speculating that he'd be like a guest referee kind of thing.
No.
I don't want to see it.
No.
I have Daniel Bryan win clean without anybody helping him, and I'll be all set.
Absolutely. And like I said, the only distraction or help I'll take is with like an internal issue with him and Stephanie, whether it be a kiss or whether it be a hug or whether it be just being outside the ring and being a distraction. Just we don't need any outside elements added to the Authority versus Daniel Bryan. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you think Triple H, I just thought of this, do you think Triple H will beat Daniel Bryan to pretty much a pulp and get disqualified for Daniel Bryan to win?
Ooh.
And then have Daniel Bryan face off in the triple threat match with bruises and cuts? And
I like the idea, but I don't like the idea.
Okay.
I like the idea because it still makes Triple H look like the guy, which he is.
Yeah.
He's the COO of the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
But then realistically, what kind of chance do you give Daniel Bryan in the main event?
Give him another hurdle to go over.
I think the Triple H beating Bryan to a pulp last night is what is the only time he should be beating him to a pulp.
Yeah, we'll get into that more later.
Yes, and stay tuned.
That was interesting.
Yes, there was, aside of Triple H and Stephanie, we haven't seen in a long time, and Stephanie's been vicious lately.
I like that kind of Stephanie.
I do too, and it brings back memories of the McMahon-Helmsley regime in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Those were my favorite times.
When they were just running the company and Vince had no control, and Stephanie just whenever Triple H had a match or they'd have a promo together, Stephanie has all these snarky smirks on her face. And if you follow us on ATB Wrestling on Twitter, I tweeted out a photo earlier of what I'm talking about, and you saw that multiple times on camera last night on Monday Night Raw. It brought back some memories, and I kind of marked a little bit because you haven't seen that out of Stephanie in a while. It was nice to see. But moving on from the beginning of Raw, because we have a lot more to cover. Sheamus and Titus O'Neil battled each other. Before this match, Hornswoggle made his WWE TV return as the leprechaun that he always is, donning some long brown hair, which was interesting. And he was throwing St. Patrick's Day stuff to the crowd.
From like iParty.
Exactly. It was like a big bag from Party Center face.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe sometime after WrestleMania. Who knows? You never know. Never say never. So Sheamus is having an in-ring interview with Renee Young, and he says, I'm entering the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 30. And then Christian is on commentary during this match, and he goes, no, I'm going to win. And all of a sudden you hear the, they drop the headset, and King's like, watch out. And Christian attacks Sheamus, and I thought he was going to attack Hornswoggle and kill him, but he didn't. So that's one thing I want to discuss today, is that Sheamus last night, and Christian did too, announced that they would both be entering the Andre the Giant Battle Royal at WrestleMania. Who else did we have confirmed for that so far?
Del Rio.
Okay.
I know that one.
Another useless.
Sandow.
Damien Sandow. Okay.
Pretty much every single jobber imaginable.
Did you say
Big Show?
Big Show? Okay. Did you say Dolph Ziggler?
Yes.
So Ziggler is confirmed?
Yes.
Okay. I am hating what's going on right now with Dolph Ziggler, and I've mentioned this before. We saw a report, I can't remember who it was on Twitter, or else I'd give you credit, but I saw a report that Dolph Ziggler, Zack Ryder, and The Miz were gonna start a disgruntled superstar stable.
What is their name going to be? The Jobbers?
I was going to say the Misfits, but that would be kind of funny.
Oh.
But that'd be too much focused on Miz.
Yeah.
Miz would have to be the leader of that, which I wouldn't want.
No,
that anyway.
have Ziggler be the leader.
I don't know. If any of you guys are listening to the podcast, tweet at us at ATB Wrestling and give us some potential names for the disgruntled superstar stable.
The Three Amigos. They can come out with sombrero hats.
The Little Rascals.
Yeah, that one too.
Rascals with a Z.
It's a good one.
Because Miz, Ziggler, and who was the other one? And Ryder. They all have Z in their name somewhere. The Little Rascals. I don't know. It's pretty stupid. Really cheesy. And
it'll be something cheesy anyway.
Of course. Just like when they had the poll of what they were going to call their new championship. And I can't imagine. I feel like they've rigged it, because there's no way. Everyone that I've talked to hates the name. There's no way that the fans voted to call it the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. There's no way.
I thought we voted for something else, and then they changed it.
Oh, did they?
I thought it was supposed to be like the Unified Championship or something. And then I know that World Heavyweight Championship was on there, but we didn't pick that.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys, and I know our friends over at the WEI WrestleCast, and my friend Mike Riley said that they love the World Heavyweight Championship belt, and I do too. But the WWE Championship belt just debuted a couple years ago when The Rock beat CM Punk to end his 434-day reign. So they're not going to get rid of that belt anytime soon. Just get rid of the World Heavyweight Championship belt. I'm tired of seeing the two belts. It just looks stupid. And especially when Orton is carrying them on top of each other.
They should cut them in half and glue them together.
Well, I think the World Heavyweight Championship gold plate is a lot bigger.
It's never around anybody's waist anyway.
That's what I mean. But like, I hate that Randy Orton, when he carries it on top of each other.
He's like clutching it to himself.
At least put it on two separate shoulders, or have one on your waist and carry the other one on your shoulder, or something. Just show them both. If you're going to use two belts, might as well show them both. Hopefully, after WrestleMania, after people who may be tuning in around this time of year, and haven't been watching the last few months, are just realizing that the belts are unified, and maybe after WrestleMania they'll finally get rid of them after their biggest amount of fan base watching realizes that there was two belts combined into one pretty recently.
Anyways,
I was sent a Minion ringtone or text tone from my friend the other day, and it thing is hilarious. I don't know if any of you guys have seen Despicable Me or Despicable Me 2, but those Minions are so damn cute. I can't stand it. So we said that Sheamus, Christian, Del Rio, Ziggler, Big Show.
Do you think everybody from that was it 8-man tag match last night is going to be in it?
Probably. I would imagine. So
Henry, Big E,
yeah,
Ziggler, Big Show, Sandow, Del Rio.
That's seemingly that.
Curtis Axel, Ryback.
All 8 of those guys will probably be in. Definitely Ryback, I would imagine.
So that's 8 right there.
We got to fit another 18 or so.
Maybe some legends.
And who did you say that you heard that might be in it? Was Rusev, Alexander Rusev?
Yeah.
I would love to see him in it. You showcase him more. He's got to fix his outfit though. Those underpants are pretty ridiculous.
Kofi's going to be in it. Real Americans.
Kofi will have his moment again, as always.
Obviously.
In every battle royal.
I wonder what it's going to be this time.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously we don't know what the WrestleMania 30 set's going to look like, but I would imagine it probably had something to do with that. Actually, no, because it's indoors, so it's not going to have the canopy that they've had the last couple of years, which is cool. It's cool to see that because it's outdoors and they're protecting them and it's heating them and whatever. But when it's in a huge indoor stadium, there's no big giant poles in the way. And you sat lower than I did last year. I didn't have a pole in my way, but I think you kind of did, right?
I did, yeah.
It was blocking one corner of the ring.
Yep.
It's got to be irritating.
And it was like the same corner that Triple H and Brock Lesnar were in like the whole entire night. I'm like, of course. Obviously, I can't watch this match.
Naturally. So you had to watch on the big screens up above.
Yep.
I mean, unless you have really good seats at a WWE event, if you're ever sitting in a balcony in a regular arena, I mean, most of the time you watch the Jumbotron anyway. But if I was at WrestleMania and I couldn't see and I paid the kind of money that you probably paid, and I sat up in the 300s and paid $90. So I can't imagine what you paid, but
I didn't pay anything.
You did, well, excuse me? Why didn't we know each other before this?
I don't know.
How did you not pay anything?
Happened? It was a birthday present.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. That's acceptable.
I paid for Monday Night Raw the next night and SmackDown, and then that person paid for
See, I can't complain about paying for events. I mean, the only wrestling event that I've actually paid to go to in the last 3 years was, besides WrestleMania, was the first Raw with The Rock in November 2011.
Oh, wow.
That was the last time I paid to go to an event. So I'm a little spoiled. Thank you to my promotion director, Patrick Heenahan, over at WAAF for always taking care of me. Appreciate it, buddy. You're the best. He also hooked me up with tickets for SmackDown, so thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Where the hell were we? We're so off topic today.
John Cena in-ring segment.
Okay, thank you. John Cena dropped a line last night that you haven't heard from him ever, I don't think. I can't think of a time if he did.
He might have said it about Brock Lesnar. Might have.
Possibly. Or he might have just maybe put Brock Lesnar over saying he was the beast and blah, 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 but I don't think he's ever said that I can remember. Prove me wrong. Tweet at me, at Bill_Neville, or at ATB Wrestling, or at WWE_LCM if you have an issue with what we're saying right now. But he said, quote unquote, "I'm afraid of Bray Wyatt," end quote.
Dun, dun, dun.
John Cena is Superman. He overcomes the odds. He does everything better than everybody else, supposedly. You don't hear that from John Cena. That 5-word quote alone just made Bray Wyatt a superstar. That quote right there pretty much settles it. Bray Wyatt has to win at WrestleMania 30. I don't know if he's going to win clean. I don't know if the Wyatts are going to get involved or somebody will get involved. I don't know.
I hope it's a clean win.
I hope so too. And if he doesn't, not only does it kill Wyatt's momentum, but it's literally the same crap we've seen over and over and over and over again that the fans are always complaining about. And that's the reason why the Cena sucks chants are filling arenas all over America and all over the world for that matter. And John Cena overcoming the odds and the never give up mantra, if that wins, it would achieve Cena nothing. Cena's already the top guy in the company. He's been the top guy in the company for 10 years now. Pretty much ever since he beat Big Show at WrestleMania 20. He's been the guy. And clearly WWE wanted to make Brock Lesnar the guy back then, and then all of a sudden he walked out, tried to play football, tried to do UFC, all that other stuff. And granted, he's a freakish athlete and all the power to him, but WWE wanted to make him the guy, and they billed him as the next big thing. But ever since then, John Cena has been the guy, and we're going on 10 years now. And it would gain John Cena nothing. He has nothing to gain in this company. And it would just destroy Bray Wyatt's momentum and the Wyatt family's momentum. Granted, if Cena wins dirty, that would be interesting. But I don't see that happening.
How would you think he would win dirty?
If somebody interferes, maybe the Shield or somebody from the Shield helps him out or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Yeah.
But if John Cena wins cleanly over Bray Wyatt, that ruins every bit of build-up you've had for the Wyatt family over the last year or so. End of story. What are your thoughts on that?
I completely agree. If you want Bray Wyatt to be this big superstar in the future, I mean, he's only 26. He's got 10 plus years in front of him. Right. You don't have him lose the first WrestleMania he's at.
No, I mean, granted, the first WrestleMania he's at is facing John Cena.
Huge.
It's enormous.
That's just a push right there.
Right. And it's going to really piss me off if just because of what Cena said last night, saying he's afraid of Bray Wyatt, that if he is able to overcome that and Super Cena wins the match, it's not best for business.
This is all about his legacy right now.
He did say that last night.
And that's the theme song for their match. It's actually a pretty good song.
Interesting. Also on Monday Night Raw, we had Randy Orton, by request, during the beginning of Raw that we forgot to mention, that he requested that he face Daniel Bryan later in the night in a no disqualification match.
Of course he did.
Of course he did, because he's Randy Orton. He thinks he's better than Christ.
He's the Viper.
And the Apex Predator. And the other ridiculous nicknames that he has.
Mm-hmm.
What does Apex Predator even mean?
I don't know. Just really mean person or something. I don't know.
The word predator is not very PG.
It's not.
No.
A lot of things about Monday Night Raw weren't PG.
No, you're right. But during this match, Batista comes back out mid-match and spears Orton out of nowhere. Everybody thought he left, and all of a sudden, boom, he's back again. Mm-hmm. And while Batista's kind of focused on Orton, Daniel Bryan comes out of nowhere, like I think he's going to do at WrestleMania 30, mm-hmm. Gives Batista the high knee, and Bryan covers Orton for the win and runs for his life. And Batista comes back in the ring and delivers the first decent-looking move I've seen out of him in a while. One thing that irritates me about the Batista bomb, because it's supposed to be like a sit-down power bomb, he doesn't sit down. He just like he falls backwards, so it looks really awkward. And he like the guy who he throws down is on his back, and he's still like kind of on his feet. I can't really lean back in the microphone, but like I said, if we had a video podcast, I'd show you. I'd probably powerbomb Lee through the table that we got right here.
Oh no!
Yeah, so watch out for that in a future video podcast.
No.
Somebody's going through a table.
Tweet at him and say no, don't do it. I don't want a broken
tweet
back.
at Bill_Neville. Yep, that's how you tweet at me. So that was an interesting segment. Batista and Randy Orton seem to have a kind of a decent rivalry going here. It was very, very boring to this point, but now they're kind of just in it to kill each other, which kind of makes you feel like Daniel Bryan, if he gets through Triple H, has a really legit shot of winning this triple threat, because I feel like these two are going to kind of go off in their own little match, and Bryan's just going to be kind of...
If Bryan wins, well, if anybody wins this, there's going to be a lot of feuds in the future.
Yeah.
Endless possibilities with all these guys.
And it's so refreshing to have John Cena out of the title picture. It's refreshing to have guys like Daniel Bryan in the title picture. And how many times did we see Cena Orton in the last 2 years?
Way too many times.
Nobody. I guarantee you that a couple 100,000 pay-per-view buys were lost because they kept repeating the same event. Mm-hmm. Granted, we don't have to worry about that anymore with the WWE Network, where you get all 12 pay-per-views for $9.99 a month. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I just hope that there's enough guys in WWE right now that are either already almost stars or future stars.
They're overloaded with talent right now.
And it's the first time in a long time. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily polarizing guys yet, like Austin, Rock, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and whatnot, but eventually, I mean, wrestling will never get to that level again. Not unless they appeal to the 18 to 34 demographic like they used to. Mm-hmm. And just watching old SmackDowns and old Monday Night Raws on the WWE Network, they show the crowd, and the average person in the crowd is at least high school age.
And everyone has a sign.
And everyone has a sign.
Everyone.
Yeah. And that people are giving the fingers to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like it was a raucous atmosphere, mm-hmm. and you will never see that again as long as the WWE is a publicly traded company. But anyway, back to Monday Night Raw. Batista and Randy Orton seem to be going off on their own little mini feud, which makes sense because Daniel Bryan's not in the title match yet. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to just keep watching the next couple weeks, and we'll see what happens next Monday as far as the Triple H Daniel Bryan rivalry and the Orton Batista rivalry. But Renee meets Batista backstage again.
She was stalking him
later on. Yeah, Batista, can I have a couple questions with you? And he's like, all right. And she asks him if he's back in the building because he asks him if because he's back in the building means he hasn't quit WWE. And he proceeds to say he's never quit anything in his life.
Liar.
Not only, number one, is he a liar, but number two, that was a direct shot at CM Punk.
Oh, of course.
And I love all the subtle shots to CM Punk because I'm a huge CM Punk fan. Mm-hmm. I hope he comes back someday, but he deserves everything that they're doing to him right now. He does. And he has no beef with them over that because he walked out on them. They didn't cut his contract early. They didn't Bret Hart him. He just he flat out walked out. Mm-hmm. Monday Night Raw, January 28th, gone.
I still have people tweeting at me saying, when is Punk coming back?
If you know?
I don't see him coming back at all, so.
I don't want to say it all, but definitely not anytime soon.
Yeah, definitely not anytime soon.
And like you said earlier, when his appearance on Talking Dead, he looked healthy.
He looked very healthy.
He looked happy and refreshed. Mm-hmm.
And like he slept more than 8 hours a week.
Yeah. I can't imagine being a top WWE superstar with the 300 days a year mm-hmm. wrestling and the travel. And granted, he had a super luxurious tour bus that was in his contract, but even that is not home.
No.
Yeah, you can be comfortable on the road, but you're still in a bus and you're still wrestling tomorrow night and you're still wrestling the next night and the next night and then You got TV on pay-per-view weeks. You got TV on Sunday, TV Monday, TV Tuesday, live event Thursday, Friday. Like it just an insane schedule, and it's got to put such a toll on the body. And
he was burnt out.
Part of me respects his leaving WWE, but the way my minion ringtone went off again. The way he left WWE was inappropriate. And we've discussed that on episode 2 or 3 or whenever it was when he left, that I respected his decision to take time off, but the way he went about it was not good. So that's my thought on CM Punk. Enough about CM Punk, because we probably won't see him in WWE for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I don't see him. No.
I was listening to the most recent episode of the WEI WrestleCast that Scott and Ben posted yesterday, and Scott came up with an interesting theory where, kind of reminiscent of WrestleMania 20, where the late Eddie Guerrero and the late Chris Benoit both won their title matches at WrestleMania. That was beginning of both their first major title runs. And after Benoit made Triple H tap in the triple threat, which is also what's happening at WrestleMania 30, Eddie came out, gave him a big hug, whatever.
Oh.
So Scott said that amidst the 75,000 yes, or people chanting yes, all of a sudden Punk's music hits, walks out and hugs Daniel Bryan, and then turns on him on Monday Night Raw.
Ooh. Ooh.
Not only do you get Daniel Bryan as a champion, which everybody wants, but you also get CM Punk instantly becoming the biggest heel in the company. I like it, but I don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening either.
I love the idea.
I like Punk coming back as a top heel, though.
Oh, absolutely. He has to be. And that's the time. He said it himself. That's the time he has the most fun. He's good as a face. He plays to the crowd, and a lot of people freak out when his music comes on, and
I do
too. And one of the last appearances he had was at SmackDown in Worcester when we were there, and he defeated the Shield 1-on-3.
That was a great match.
It was a great match, and it was so cool. Just him playing to the crowd and posing and whatnot. Like, that's got to be fun for a superstar, instead of having to go back with a frown on your face. And that's got to be fun. But he's just a natural heel. Simple as that. But like I said, I love that scenario that Scott came up with. But I think you have a better chance. I think you have a better chance of seeing Brock beat Undertaker.
I agree.
Than seeing that happen.
I'm a little nervous about that. No. I still don't see Brock beating him.
Brock's just not that guy. And like we were discussing on last week's podcast, where Heyman came out and built up the Undertaker streak and said it's the greatest streak of all time, which it is. Saying he's never lost at WrestleMania. Why bring all that up when you have Brock Lesnar, who's a guy who lost at WrestleMania last year? It just doesn't make sense. And he's like 2-2 or 4-2 or something since he's been back. He hasn't had a great record, but who knows?
Did you see the little video segment that Paul Heyman did?
I skipped over it. I watched Raw very quickly this morning.
Yeah. I'll show it to you later, but they had like this big build-up video with music and whatnot for Undertaker and Brock, but they skipped over the CM Punk versus versus Undertaker match.
Interesting.
Yeah. Even though it is Paul Heyman, and you need to go through that match to get to now, the present.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the match because Taker is my favorite wrestler of all time. I'm looking forward to seeing him on Monday. I can't wait. But I don't like the build-up. 2 years in a row, Paul Heyman is CM Punk could speak for himself, but Paul Heyman's kind of the mouthpiece for the last two of Undertaker's opponents. And I just don't see Lesnar being the guy. And if there is going to be a guy who's going to do it, it's going to be John Cena. But I don't think John Cena's going to do it either. I don't think Undertaker's 48 going on 49. He's probably got, if he goes once a year, he's probably got another 2 matches in him probably. This one and then probably 31. But I just don't see it happening. Taker losing at WrestleMania, and it definitely wouldn't be best for business because number one, you got plenty of merchandise that you can sell with the streak, and the streak is almost as big as WrestleMania itself.
Mm-hmm.
It just wouldn't make sense financially, and it wouldn't make sense. Granted, most legends go out on a loss in their career, but Taker's last match doesn't have to be at WrestleMania. Granted, it would be fitting, but it doesn't have to be at WrestleMania. And like we were discussing last week, I think his last match should be against Kane, and Kane should win. Although it doesn't really pass the torch or anything like that, it'd be a good way to send Taker off.
There are rumors that Kane is retiring soon, though.
That's right, I did hear that. He's going into real estate.
Yeah, he has his own real estate company now in Tennessee.
Like I tweeted earlier this week when I saw that report online, saying that that's could be a reason why they're going with the whole corporate Kane gimmick right now,
mm-hmm. and
having his face on television with a shirt and tie on, just kind of helping his future business.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that Glenn Jacobs is his real name, is a well-known guy and a trustworthy guy, and it could have something to do with it. And it might not, but it could be a big coincidence. But I did hear that Kane is looking to retire relatively soon. How old is he compared to Undertaker?
44.
So he's about 4 years younger.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know Kane's been around forever. He was Dr. Isaac Yankem before he was Kane.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think Taker's last match should be a loss, but not at WrestleMania. I'm kind of losing my voice here. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. What else you got on your docket over there, Lee?
Well, while you take a sip of that, there was a super jobber match, Goldust versus Fandango.
Oh God!
And Goldust showed me that he still has his old school persona with crawling towards Fandango in the ring sexually, and it was very funny to watch. And after the match ended, Goldust won, obviously, but he was clutching his ribs, and then he hit one of the ring posts out of frustration.
Huh.
So he might be injured.
Interesting. And I think WWE really dropped the ball here with not having a Goldust versus Cody Rhodes match at WrestleMania.
Completely agree.
I know it could still happen. We still have 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the one way to really propel Cody's career, which is clearly longer than Goldust's, I don't know what the age of it. It's got to be at least 10 years, right?
Oh, yeah.
But Goldust has been around since what? WrestleMania 11 or 12 or somewhere around there when he was with his wife. Or is she the current wife or is she an ex-wife?
Ex-wife.
Ex-wife, okay. But Goldust has been around forever, and what better way to give your younger brother a rub than to lose to him at WrestleMania? Mm-hmm. And Goldust, he's in probably the best shape of his life right now. But I'm sure he doesn't want to wrestle forever. I'm sure he doesn't want to be one of those guys who goes on and can't put on great matches and can't perform on the indie scene. I'm sure he just wants to, when he's done, he's done. And what better way to give a rub to your brother than to lose to him at WrestleMania? Granted, Cody beating Goldust wouldn't be like him beating Triple H or Randy Orton or somebody like that. But to have that moment where those two have an incredible 20, 30-minute match, and like I said, Goldust is in the best shape of his career, just flying around everywhere, and Cody doing his signature stuff, and having Cody pin him, and then having the embrace in the ring, and Goldust doing like the, here you go, kid, it's yours now.
Mm-hmm.
That would propel Cody Rhodes higher than he is right now, at least.
Passing of the torch.
Exactly. There was a hilarious segment on Raw. The WWE Network has been having some interesting issues lately, especially with the Xbox 360. It's kind of driving me nuts. Number one, not all the content is there.
Yep.
It drives me crazy. And they sent out an email saying that if you change a setting in your Xbox and blah, blah, it should appear.
No.
That setting was never on
No.
the Xbox. So they're wrong, number one. It didn't become available to use on Xbox for about 8 days. That was pretty irritating. I haven't really watched it much on the computer or the iPad, but I assume it's a little bit easier to search for content on
everything's there on the computer and
on
the phone
everything
and
else.
stuff. So
okay. I mean, for $9.99, you really can't complain. The content has been pretty good so far. I mean, all the pay-per-views are that's a deal in itself. The original programming has been okay. I like the countdown shows. I feel like they're too long, and I feel like instead of just where they have a countdown and that's it, I feel like there should be like a please don't include Booker T in this if you do this because he sucks on panels. But there should be some sort of panel that kind of like debates back and forth where these things lie in the countdown, like amidst the show, instead of having an hour-long countdown show with no commercials. You're allotting 10 minutes per moment, which is kind of a lot. Maybe make it 7 or 8 and have a couple of minutes of discussion in between each one, where at the end is where they disagree on what was number one and whatnot. I think that would make it a lot better. I haven't really watched WrestleMania Rewind yet. And what was the other original programming that's on right now?
Right now?
Yeah, it was something else, isn't there? I know Legends House isn't on yet, but...
No, actually, they just made a Twitter today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought there was 3. Maybe I'm wrong.
There is 3. I just can't think of the other one. Because I've been super just into watching pay-per-views and the countdown.
Yeah, I love going back in the and watching old school pay-per-views. I think that's the coolest part. I watched King of the Ring 2000 the other day, which was at TD Garden, which I was at. Well, actually, it was the Fleet Center at the time. But if you go to our Twitter, ATB Wrestling, I tweeted out a video that I took from my couch, and it was kind of funny because Kurt Angle came out and with hair and gave this promo on how he was your Olympic hero and he was in Boston. And it's kind of funny because this is 2000, a year before Boston started their incredible run of championships over the last 12, 13 years. And Kurt Angle is doing this promo to get heat from the crowd, and he's saying, I'm going to do something tonight that the Bruins weren't able to do, and the Celtics weren't able to do, and the Red Sox weren't able to do, and the Patriots. Come to think of it, all the teams in Boston suck. Mm-hmm. And the crowd's going, boo, and he goes, and how you Boston people would deal with it. He goes, give me another beer. So just classic heel promo. It was awesome. But I took a video of it and tweeted it on our ATB Wrestling Twitter account. And I tweeted at Kurt Angle in the hopes of a retweet and saying, hey, just wanted to thank you, Kurt, for lighting a fire under Boston's ass and sending us on this amazing run. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, that didn't quite work out. But you can find that video on our Twitter account at ATB Wrestling. But back to the funny segment that I was going to tell you about before we went on kind of a tangent here. Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole were doing a hilarious how to use or how to sign up the WWE Network at the announce table. Mm-hmm. And according to WWE now, I was wondering this all along, you have until Saturday to sign up for the free week trial. And I was wondering when the cutoff date would be, because I'd imagine a lot of people thought they were going to get their 1 week trial during the WrestleMania week. And so to them, I say, ha, ha, ha. Sucks for you. Buy the damn network.
Exactly.
Suck it up.
Buy it. It's awesome.
Exactly. But Jerry the King Lawler was struggling with the iPad, and the little drag-up menu on iOS 7 popped up, and he couldn't figure out how to put it down, and it was on camera, and Cole's like, learn how to use your iPad, you idiot. It was so stupid, but it was awesome at the same time. So off the WWE Network. Triple H and Stephanie had a little get-together backstage, and Stephanie says that Triple H isn't thinking clearly, and what's going to happen if you have to go on the road, which he is already, and so is she.
Yeah.
If you go on the road and if you become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania, what about the family? I'm sure the family is traveling with them too. I'm sure they have a bus. I'm sure they have something, all the accommodations you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't really make sense, but that's breaking kayfabe if they said otherwise. There seemed to be a little dissemination between Triple H and Stephanie, which made me feel like my prediction at WrestleMania would come true at some point, where Stephanie delivers the kiss of death to Triple H to cost him the match. But who knows? You still may see it, you may not. But they quickly pan back to the ring, and Kane is out talking to the Shield. And we're going to let you hear what happened right now.
As Director of Operations, it is my responsibility to execute the vision of the Authority. This ring is a place for action, but there are some actions that do not have a place in this ring, like last week's Occupy Raw stunt orchestrated by Daniel Bryan. It was dangerous, inappropriate, and violated numerous safety codes put in place for the protection of you, our audience. So on behalf of the Authority, I have conducted a thorough investigation into last week's debacle, and I have concluded that Daniel Bryan could not have pulled off this stunt alone. One man made it possible. This man is a native of Memphis, Tennessee, and used his hometown connections to allow members of the Yes Movement to join Daniel Bryan in and around the ring. For that, we will now take action, the kind of action that does have a place in this ring. So if you will join me here in the ring, Jerry the King Lawler.
I know. Why is he talking about me? I knew it.
We have known each other for a long time, Jerry. And we both know that you're, well, not exactly in fighting shape. So I'm not going to enjoy doing what I have to do. Well, maybe a little. But I guess I should ask you if there's anything that you'd like to say for yourself.
Jerry, I see that look in your eyes. But I got a good feeling Daniel Bryan is not coming to save you. Because the Shield always does what's best for business.
You don't think that the...
Listen to me. You're about to become a liability. You don't know enough about this business to do what you're doing right now. Do you understand me? Huh?
Oh, and here go the Shield. The Shield attacking Corporate Kane. It's not the best for business. Talk about defying authority. There's a monster in that suit. Oh, and Rollins. Spear by Reigns. Can't believe what we're seeing here. You gotta be kidding me. What is wrong with the Shield? What has gotten into these guys? The patented triple powerbomb. That's the director of stipulations. And they're the hounds of justice. The hell are they thinking? With their own brand of justice tonight. You want to try and tell them? The Shield said they were united, and indeed they are. These guys are going rogue. And in the Shield's mind, this must have been best for business.
Now, as far as the Shield goes, it could be best for business.
I thought it was best for business.
Because clearly they're making a face turn.
They are.
I didn't think all three of them would make a face turn, though. But then with all three of them making a face turn, one of them could make the heel turn.
That's true.
And leave the other two as a top tag team, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
The obvious choice has to be Dean Ambrose, right?
Oh, yeah.
Although everybody seems to think that Roman Reigns is going to go off and do his own thing and be one of the top guys, but then how do you have a tag team between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose if one of them turns heel? It's a lot of stuff to think about.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on with the Shield right now. We're going to have to wait another week or two to see how that kind of stuff plays out. Maybe I'll ask him on Sunday.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, what's going on with you creative-wise?
They'll be like, oh, we can't talk about that.
I'm looking forward to that so much. I'm doing for Valentine's Day, my girlfriend got me a meet and greet with the Shield and tickets to a live event in New Jersey, and then we're going on to Raw in Brooklyn on Monday, and then back here for SmackDown on Tuesday. So a very WWE-filled weekend for me. I can't wait. But I am meeting the Shield, and I'm looking forward to that very, very, very much. And we're having some T-shirts made. Really excited about that. We'll see how they turn out. I'm going to be wearing one. Lee's going to have one. And we'll tweet out.
Wear mine to work like every single day.
We'll tweet out pictures of them. And if you guys like them, we'll make more and we'll start selling them.
Yeah.
So, who knows? You never know. Who doesn't want an ATB Wrestling t-shirt?
Right?
And if you guys haven't seen our main picture on our website and our new Twitter photo, I created an old school Raw is War logo with ATB, and then in the white says wrestling, and then it says .com underneath. So that's going to be on the front of the shirt, big square logo. On the back, it'll say home of the @ATB Wrestling podcast. So I'm pretty excited about the way they look. Lee and I designed a couple after our podcast last week, and we're using one of the exact same designs, that exact same font that we use. So I'm pretty excited about that, and we're getting them cheaper through a friend. So.
Yes, thank you to that friend.
Thank you, friend. I wish I knew the name of your business. I can't remember it. Oh no, I know what it is. It's Ben Franklin Tees.
Thank you,
Ben Franklin Tees up in Peabody, I think it is. It's up in the North Shore. I went there a couple weeks ago, but I don't remember if it was in Wakefield or Peabody or one of those. But thank you to Ben Franklin Tees for allowing us to use your business to make our ATB Wrestling t-shirts. Anyway, back to business before we have to wrap things up here.
Business.
Triple H wants to talk to Daniel Bryan in the ring, man to man.
Man to man.
As he mentioned earlier in Raw. And Triple H seems like a nice guy. And he says they're going to do what they do best at WrestleMania. They're going to face each other. May the best man win, blah, 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 blah. Goes to shake Daniel's hand. He refuses. He says, I respect that. He's dumped a ton of crap in front of you, and yet you're still standing there.
He said the word dumped a lot during the whole segment.
He did. He says he needs to end the yes movement, but he says he has earned his respect. Mm-hmm. And out of nowhere, all of a sudden on the microphone, you hear Stephanie screech again, respect. She said, and she comes out. She says she's pressing charges, and he needs to suffer the consequences of what happened last week on Occupy Raw. And I'm not even sure why she's pressing charges. What did Daniel do? Yeah, just
a little side note. My dad turns around when we're watching Raw, and he goes, you can't arrest somebody for doing something in a different state.
It's true. It's true. Well, we'll get to that point in a second.
Yeah.
Where she says she's pressing charges, and you need to suffer the consequences. And Triple H, and she calls out the police to come, the quote unquote police, or the Indie Patrol, as I like to call them.
The Indie Patrol.
And they come out. and they hold Daniel Bryan down with nightsticks, and they cuff him and like
punched him in the back of the head.
I'm pretty sure Daniel Bryan can press charges now.
Yeah.
Anyway, and Triple H breaks kayfabe a little bit and says, you're not even real cops.
Mm-hmm.
And they go away, and then Daniel Bryan's still handcuffed, and you know what's coming next.
Mm-hmm.
And Triple H takes care of business as far as Daniel Bryan goes.
Yes, he did.
I love this segment because it kind of brought us back to the era of the McMahon-Helmsley regime back in the late 90s, early 2000s, like we said.
Mm-hmm.
And Triple H would do all the damage, and Stephanie would just watch with her evil eyes and her evil looks. And if you, like I said before, if you guys follow us at ATB Wrestling, you can see a photo of exactly what I'm talking about if you don't know what I'm talking about. But she definitely loved what she was seeing. And when it seemed like the Authority was kind of at odds earlier in the show, boy, were they together at the end of the show.
Oh, yes, they were.
Now, the beating that Triple H gave Daniel Bryan went well into overtime on the USA Network.
It was very excessive.
Yeah. Like you said, the little WWE icon popped up on the bottom of the screen.
To let you know that Raw is ending.
Exactly. And all of a sudden, Raw didn't end, and Triple H was throwing Daniel Bryan back in the ring.
Yeah.
Gave him just the beating of a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And the chair shot against the pole.
Yep. Ow.
Yeah. It was bad. And hopefully he's not literally hurt, because it looked like he actually whacked him. He didn't just hit the pole.
No, he didn't.
But hopefully Daniel's okay, and he can go home and snuggle up next to Brie Bella, and everything will be okay.
There was another shot at Punk during that segment.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
I might have missed it. What did he say?
Triple H said to Daniel Bryan, unlike some people, you're still here and didn't take your ball and go home.
Oh.
And then looked at the camera.
Oh, gee, I didn't see that.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to go back and watch. Oh, I deleted it. Never mind. I'll watch it some other time. Maybe if the WWE Network would get on their damn ball and start putting Raw replays on.
Yeah.
The last Raw replay that's on WWE Network is the Batista return. That was in January.
Yeah.
Let's go, guys.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to put any sort of content on there, put that on there. What if you miss Raw? Then you're not going to see it. Unless you find it illegally online somewhere. Or you DVR'd it, or you watch it on Universal Channel on Saturdays.
Yeah.
But you would think that they would put Raw on for the next morning just in case you missed it. I don't know. Anyway, but Triple H closes Raw saying on the microphone, he says, "My ring, our house, our show. This belongs to us. There is no yes movement." So Triple H hijacked it right back.
He's a good heel. He's the best heel.
He's a good heel.
Mm-hmm.
He always has been. I've always appreciated Triple H's work. But, I mean, I don't think there's too much more to discuss about this week. Did we miss anything about Monday Night Raw? Or regarding Monday Night Raw?
No, we did not.
Good. Next week, we'll do a little bit more WrestleMania preview as we see what happens during Raw and SmackDown next week, which hopefully Lee will get to SmackDown.
Yes.
I'm working on that now, but hopefully we'll see. But that's going to do it, folks, for After the Bell episode 7 for March 18th, 2014. Remember, you can hear our show on both our YouTube channel and our official website, which is atbwrestling.com. And you can find our YouTube page at youtube.com/atbwrestling. You can follow Lee and I on Twitter. I'm at Bill_Neville, and she's at WWE_LCM. And, of course, our official Twitter account is at ATB Wrestling. Be sure to look out for our ATB Wrestling shirts and possibly a sign on Raw and SmackDown this week, as I'll be in the house for both, and Lee will hopefully be in the house for SmackDown.
Fingers crossed, people.
And until next week, I'm Bill.
And I'm Lee.
And this has been After the Bell.